Good evening, all. Matt here, mcfcfantv. Got a few guests for me, but before we go into that, I have promised Tom we're going to play his video. This is Tom. It's only about 40 seconds. Might put you all in a jovial mood, is what you all are. And
what, me puffing out my backside today?
Yeah. So here's Tom struggling running.
No. Well, hi guys, it's Tom here. Day 6 today. It's been a wet one so far. I've just managed to get the camera out whilst it stopped raining for a second. Getting that windscreen wipers on my glasses. Yeah, we're going fast today. It's the route that I tried yesterday. It's going really well. So yeah, thank you for the support today. And fingers crossed City win tonight.
There you go.
I got one bit wrong. I got one bit wrong. Oh dear.
Yeah, those videos are going to change daily. And then when we get to another week in, you'll see just Tom on the floor, collapsed. You should do like a marathon one at the end, when they go through a ticker tape.
Yeah, I could do. Yeah. But it'd be halfway up Main Road because 5K is halfway down Main Road. So then we have to shut road off.
Well, we're smiling. We've got some guests on tonight. Obviously, we've got Tom. We've got Ross, all the way from Australia. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, lads. Obviously, good in myself, but feeling pretty down after watching that, to be honest.
Yeah, and we have got KARL, KARL is out at the moment, so KARL's coming on, but he's only going to be on for about 25 minutes or so. We'll get his thoughts, and then KARL will have to leave. His wife will have to go out, so that's why he's just off camera at the minute. So what I'm going to do is we'll get in some of those, try and cheer everyone up. I'm just going to go like Doopy here. We like 90 shots, can't score. Where was Aguero? New striker. Our fullbacks are in Australia. They were so high. And I could go on and on. This is what it's going to be like, guys. Anthony Alma, even in no passion, fighter press. Rodri Oberon in midfield. Disagree with that. Mahrez, piss poor again. Agree with that. At fault for the second goal too. What has Foden done wrong? Nobody's on KDB's level. Disagree with that at the moment. So what KDB had an absolute shocker. Peter Jones, hi. We will finish in the top 4. If not, then Pep has to go. Come on, you Spurs. Oh, the Spurs fans are here. Hello, gang. Haaland just completed his hat-trick, so I'm happy. And then Chris, another unproven hat-trick.
Yeah.
After the Lord's Mayor's show, as you saying goes, typical City. Absolute terrible performance. This is just going to go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, as you can see. KARL, hi, KARL, Ross, Tom and Martin, hope you're all well. Zagon, how are we? And Ryan can hardly blame Rodri for that game. I thought Rodri was my man of the match, but all opinions. KARL, I know you haven't got long, mate, so
yeah.
Floor's yours, mate.
Yeah, so I saw the team sheet. I saw my buddy Mahrez on the right, and I knew it was going to be the same song, frankly. It's just not good enough. I mean, anybody who thinks he's a good enough to be a City player is delusional, frankly. He's just not good enough. I'm sorry. Yeah, let all the hate fans come from Algeria. I don't give a crap. He's just not good enough for City. He's not good enough. One-dimensional, doesn't track back, doesn't cover up. First goal was his fault, the foul. Second goal didn't track. He's just not good enough for me. And then you have, the mistakes that we made and not, this inverted winger problem. I don't know why. We all talk about this, right? All of us see the issues with inverted wingers and playing, left on the right and right on the left. It doesn't work. Why doesn't Pep see this? I don't mind losing. Many games to play. We have 32 games to play in the season. I get that. We can still recover. But when you keep doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result, that's the definition of madness. Inverted winger against a back six, nothing's gonna happen. Then you have Mahrez in the
And then we just losing KARL a bit there.
I don't know. It just scratched my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me.
You just said then, Cal, we can't recover. Or we can recover. Can we recover?
I think we can. Again, we have a game in hand. It's still 30-something point games to play. We lost the game away, which is okay. You always want to try and at least get a point away. We can recover. It's over 30 games to play. The issue is, can he fix those issues? Right? Why stick to this inverted winger? Why play Mahrez when you have Foden on the right? Why not? Energy, the dynamism. We saw the Marseille game. You play Mahrez on the right again against the back six. I just don't get it. I don't. For the life of me, I don't.
Yeah. Tom, I can see you sat there praying. Oh,
No, I'm not praying. I'm just listening because it's true. It's so true, and there's something missing. Whether it's not having a plan B, whether it's playing too many games, whether just something's not right. And Mahrez. I said in my predictions yesterday, Mahrez was going to start. There was the only reason he did start was because Sterling wasn't fit enough. He only came on for the last 15 minutes. Well, it doesn't surprise me anyway, because that's what Pep does. He doesn't really like making his subs. But, the only reason Mahrez played today was because we didn't have enough players. And that is what Kevin said in his interview after the game, whether he was making excuses or not. We've not been able to have a team 100% without a change or two. Once again, from the Liverpool game, 2 changes made again. Sterling out, there's so many changes that are causing the team not to, bond. But, we didn't look good from the off, Within the first 15 seconds, we'd lost the ball twice from Bernardo, giving it away twice within the first 15 seconds. And, it's little things like that cost you the game and stuff. With the first goal, there's a lot of debate on who's at fault. I think it's 3 people. I think it's Laporte, Cancelo, and and Edison. Sorry, Laporte highly to blame more than the other 2. I personally think, because he comes towards Kane when Diaz has got it covered, which opens the gap. But Cancelo should maybe cover his man, and then Edison comes flying out, which I don't really understand why he's done that on 2 occasions in the game. But we from there we had so many more. We had so many chances. It was figuring something like 10 attempts to 1, 10 attempts to 1, and the decision making for Eddie. He's been really good this season. His shot stopping's great, but it was just 2 little blips in the game where he just tried to run out and try and stop it because the defence in front of him wasn't performing to the highest of capabilities today. And that is one of the first times this season it's happened. And look what happens when they don't play well. It all gets a bit messy. And that's why Edison was, forced into making those little rash decisions, because he had no protection, because, the other guys weren't really playing well. But, we had our chances again. We should have taken them. Rodri had that header. Diaz had that header that went straight to Lloris. Anywhere else in the target, it's in the back of the net 2-1, And, there's just a little bits, the crossing. Mahrez couldn't beat a man for his life. He gave the ball away too many times. Cancelo couldn't cross a ball today. I like Cancelo, but, I'm here to support Man City, not one player. It's a constructive criticism for the whole team. So it doesn't matter if I like Cancelo or not. He couldn't cross the ball for his life today. Walker just didn't look on the pace, for the offside goal. He was on the halfway line and let Bergwijn cover. Have Bergwijn have the full right of the side. And then for the second goal, he was caught out again up the pitch and started strolling. Like, I can understand you can't get it back into position, but with the pace he's got, he could have made it into the middle and maybe have caused a little bit more support. Yeah. It's one of them. It's stressful because you see the chances. It's not one of those games like Southampton or whatever last season where we created so many chances. We had the ball in the back of the net. And it's one of them. It's just there's something not right, whether it's having a plan B or the amount of games we're playing or the amount of recovery time there's been from international to, back to club football. There's something just not clicking.
Well, KDB's already come out on his post-match interview and criticised the way the season's going. Rest time, apparently internationals, one one training session, he said, in pre-season. Then they were off to internationals, and I don't know. Ross, where are you at?
Well, firstly, on that point, mine, I'm just going to say I'm pretty over everyone complaining about the too many games and the whatever. Pretty much every other team, okay, City had a lot less break. Every other team's in the same boat. Every other team's got injuries. Every other team's got COVID. Guys, the more you talk about it, as in the players, the more it's in the mind. They need to just get over it. It is what it is. Carry on with it. Before I go on to the performance, one thing I do want to point out, we spoke about it last week, but if ever it demonstrated that Harry Kane is a great centre forward, he was so good it annoyed me. Every foul he wins, he runs off the ball. I tell you what, unbelievable, that guy. By far and away the best player on the pitch tonight. Anyone who doubts him, well, they don't know football, in my opinion.
Oh, he was man of the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far. And he's pretty much like that every week.
Yeah, what they'll say on that, Ross, before you continue on the performance, and KARL and Tom can obviously hear this. You watch that documentary, All or Nothing, that Spurs. And the one thing Mourinho says is, and I'll try and not swear it, he wanted Spurs to become unliked. He wanted him to do the nasty stuff. He wanted him to be known as, the B word. And today, that summed it up, because the one thing Kane was doing was he was kicking. He was doing little fouls. They were doing everything that Spurs were not doing a year or two ago. And you can see where Mourinho's brought that into Spurs.
Yep.
And yes, as much as I was having a go at Mike Dean through the whole of the game, that's where referees. But if they can get away with it and they're savvy enough, if they're savvy enough to get away with that, then fair play to them. But my worry is we created nothing hardly today. It's not finishing now. It's now creating. That's now the problem.
Yeah.
Go on, KARL. I think KARL's stuttering and uttering there.
Yeah, so if you want me to jump onto the performance.
Yeah, go on then, Ross. I'll try and get KARL back.
66% possession, 22 shots, 5 on target, 10 corners. Spurs didn't have a corner, by the way. That nastiness, we were the one who got caught for the fouls. We fouled more than them in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? Them stats is every City game. There's nothing surprising there. The shots on target won. Spurs had 2 shots on target, scores 2 goals. They're clinical. Teams in the Premier League who are going to do well are clinical. We're not clinical. Now, I know this would probably be a little bit of a controversial statement, but on the lineup, if I was Phil Foden, I would be banging on his door tomorrow and I would be saying, what have I got to do? And if you don't want to play me, because now in my mind as Phil Foden, my gaffer's just signed another 2-year deal. He doesn't play me. I score 2 goals for England. I set a goal up for England. I get man of the match in a lot of sources. And I come back to my club and I can't get on the pitch. And I've got players like Mahrez in front of me. I've got players like Silva who are off form. And whether you like it or not, guys, KDB's not playing well. And that might be controversial, but tonight, he's that player now in our team who can do no wrong. He can do no wrong in City fans' eyes.
Yeah.
And you've got to be realistic. That lad needs a rest. I would not be playing him for the next 2 games. He's knackered because he's our best player and everything goes through him. On the point about him saying we've not got enough players, don't agree. Mahrez shouldn't have played. Foden should.
Yep.
If you're on the bench, you're fit enough to play. Sterling should have played. Aguero, play him if he's fit. If he's not fit, don't put him on the bench. I'm sick of it now. If you're on the bench, you're fit enough to play. Don't change a game after 71 minutes when it's quite clear we're not in the game. We might have all the ball, we're doing the tick-a-tacker, but we're not going to score goals. Change it up. We've just not got anyone, I don't think, at the moment who can unlock and that bit of difference other than Foden. And we're not playing him.
No.
As you can probably tell, I mean, look at the ratings today on various news sources for our players. It's like going back to the 90s. they're all 3s and 4s. And you know what? It's probably true. It's probably a fair rating. People will say it's people going after us, but we've set such a high bar now. We're not playing well. And I tell you what, we lose another game, for me, I think it's over.
I agree with that.
I will come on to that in a bit. Carl, you were going to say something. Go on.
No, I think Ross is absolutely right.
We're just losing you, Carl.
Mahrez. You play Mahrez, but oh boy, can you see now? You got me?
Yeah, you just went stuttery and uttery there.
You got me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you got Foden on the bench, who scores 2 goals, and you bench him, and you play Mahrez, and everybody knows what Mahrez is going to do. Cut back in on his left foot. Everybody knows. Why? I mean, is Lilo, what's his name? Lilo, can he, say, boss, this is not working, and ask him to change it? It doesn't make any sense, Martin. It doesn't make any sense. And if this continues, questions should be asked. Serious questions should be asked. Has this guy got to the point where he's run out of ideas? Serious question.
Just signed a new 2-year deal.
Yeah. He gets loads of money if he gets that.
If you end up being 17th by December, by Christmas, what are you going to do? Keep on? Something's got to change. I don't know, man. It's just frustrating because we know we have the players. Play the damn players that we have.
Listen, I'm going to say something now, and I agree with Ross. We can't keep hitting with the same stick of pre-season injuries. Liverpool have more injuries than us. Leicester have more injuries than us. I can go through the league. Most teams now have more injuries than us. And they are all winning games. They might not be playing great football, they're winning games. We have virtually got a full strength squad back right now. So I'm not buying into this pre-season injuries stuff anymore. That's done now. We can't keep beating ourselves with that same stick. As much as I understand KDB's frustration, that's for Pep to go, if you're tired, then KDB, like Ross said, rest him. I said this a week or 2 ago. KDB needs resting. Rest the guy. This is where our top squad's meant to come into play now, where Bernardo steps up, where Foden steps up, and all these players are meant to come in and step up so we can rest players. What my worry was today is all these players went away on these great international duties, and we were waxing lyrical about how great they were and blah, blah, blah. They looked an absolute shadow of those international players today. Torres for 15 minutes looked good. Then you didn't see him hardly. You had the only one I'm going to be go on, Carl.
If I may, Martin, I have a different explanation. The reason why they looked great.
Oh, that's tense, that is, isn't it?
I'm
nervous. It's better than Coronation Street when Carl's speaking.
Please comment if you know what Carl's going to say.
Go on, Carl, you cut out again then.
No, just play them in the right position. Foden on the right, Torres on the left. You play Mahrez as the right wing. I don't. I mean, how many times have we seen this inverted winger with Mahrez run into traffic? How many times? How many times? How many games? Well, how many games? All the time. And we learn nothing. And then you wait till 71 minutes to make a change? We have Aguero, Sterling, and Foden on the bench? Come on.
I'm going to say this. Pep can't
71 minutes.
He can't bitch and moan about 5 substitutions. And then in the last 2 games, he brings on 1 sub against Liverpool. He sort of strips Foden off, sticks him on the touchline, then tells him to go and sit back down. And then today, we're in the 80th minute, and he only brings on 2 substitutions. Don't moan about 5 when you're not even using your full 3 quotation you've got at the minute. Sorry, that's where that's where Pep's failing there. You can't bitch and moan about a rule that you're not really using anyway, because you're not even using your 3 substitutions that you've got. So is he saying I don't have faith in my substitutions right now, or are we playing Are we got players on the bench that are not fit, and they're just going on to make numbers up?
And then that, Martin, as well, that comment, and if that's true, that shows even more that he's not got faith in the youth. Because for me, if I'm coaching and I've got players who are injured, I'm going to put a lad who's fit, who's on the fringes. If he comes on, he comes on. If I don't need him, he don't need him. But why would you put Aguero, if he's not fit and we put him on and he gets injured again? I mean, and to me, I know that I've said it sort of tongue in cheek, but if the results continue to go the way they are, then if we like it or not, and we had this discussion the other week about Pep, then has he signed that 2-year deal for a guy who only ever signs 1-year deals? Let's remember we spoke about that.
Just on that, Ross, he has got a break clause.
What? Because when we walk in and say it's not good enough.
After 1 year, he's got a break clause now.
But has he signed because he's worried? He don't want to wait till the end of the year because he knows if he signs one, he'll get some money if we flirt him. Because at the moment, and back on the Foden point, if you're not a City fan right now, anyone else will want Foden to move to another club for England in tournaments. And if I was Foden right now, if he wasn't a City fan, he would have asked already. That's the only thing keeping him at the club. He has got to play game. He must be looking. And look, don't forget, he's away on international duty. He's talking to the likes of, Mount and Rice, who are playing week in, week out. And they'll be in his ear saying, hey, Phil, why are you not playing for City?
Yeah. I'm just going to jump into some comments. I know KARL hasn't got much longer with us. I know that. Andy Blue Moon, do apologise. It's nearly 100 on. I will try and get through comments as I can. Our passing it look as quick as first half, but still believe long way to go. Only out 8th league game. Yeah, I know that's been said, that we're sort of hitting the panic button a little bit. First goal of good movement from Kane and Son. No communication to the back four, and Edison being crap. Edison didn't cover himself in glory today. I won't lie. Ronnie Beaver doesn't agree with me. Rodri, man of the match. Pass round him for the first goal. Second one running in treacle. Dino, I'm going to be honest with you. And listen, it's all opinions. I think Rodri's become a whipping boy now of some fans because I thought he was very good today. I thought he was one of the few in midfield who was passing and was moving the ball with anything, and he was trying. He was tackling. He was doing. So I don't fully agree with that a little, on that, but it's all opinions. Some people like him, some don't. Anthony Elmer, KDB looks shattered. Tom commented on Edison's decision making.
It's true. It's true because there's two occasions where he comes flying out with his net and he gets megged both times. He should wait and see what happens. Stand the man up. Allow somebody to get back on the line. Hold up play so you have support. Yeah. Not just fly out, take him out, and if you notice, he ends up about halfway down the other side of the box from where he started with his slide, and he's on his knees looking at the play carrying on.
Yeah.
Twice, but that's two occasions this season. The majority of the season he's been class, so you can't really pick up on him too much. But the two decisions today have cost the goals, and that's part of being a keeper.
I'm going to come on to somebody else who's on a blinding season, but I thought was poor today. I'll come on to that in a moment. Hearts, they had 2 chances and scored, or it would have been 0-0. When we have these chances, we missed. But the issue with that is hard. How many chances did we have? We didn't. Apart from the 2 KDB free kicks from the headers, we didn't really create anything. I don't know a save Lloris had to make through the whole game that was any sort of thing. So my worry is he's not scoring right now. Yeah. It's creating. Go on, KARL. I'm going to come in to KARL because KARL.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Tottenham had like 10 people behind the ball. It's difficult to create chances with 10 people behind the ball. My argument is if they're going to sit behind.
We've done it for 2 years.
Yeah,
played that for 2 years, KARL.
Well, my argument is you don't need to win that game. Just get a point.
Yeah.
Just get the point. Change your tactics. Do back and counter. Let them come on. You're away. Why'd you have to press them high up the field?
But I don't know. Haven't teams played 10 men against us for the last 2 years?
Yeah, but my point is, if that's what teams are always going to sit back against us. But this game today, all we needed was a point. A point away against Tottenham is a good point. So sit back.
Oh yeah,
Let them
right
come
now.
on to us.
Well, Spurs, that's all
Yeah.
they did. They sat back
Let-
and broke
So
the try.
let's do that. Why do we have to be the protagonist to carry the game forward towards them? Let them come on to us. Sit back. Play 4-4-2, like Atletico. Sit back. Let them come on to us. Change the tactics. You know, this is kind of where Mancini for me, you know, would probably have won that game or got a point from that game because he'd have changed things and not be predictable. I don't know. Maybe I'm just frustrated today. It's just, and we could see how good this team is, but these tactics just kind of scratch your head. 71 minutes, you bring in Foden. Mahrez is there for almost 70 minutes. The guy was as crap as can be. Crap, totally today. Totally awful. And yet we keep him there.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it was just Mahrez who was crap today.
Yeah, but if we had the width that we normally had with a Foden on the right, stretching the field, then you can create width. Then you can go in behind. Mahrez just keeps checking in.
I don't agree with Foden on the right either for me. When did Foden become a winger?
Never has. He only played it once in the final at the Carabao Cup, and he only played it for 25 minutes.
He played against Marseille. Remember the Marseille game? That's where he played. He played on the right.
Yeah, but
there was Sterling on the right.
He came on
from
the bench.
You're right. Sterling on the right. It was Sterling on the right, Foden on the left.
But
against Aston Villa in the League Cup, he played on the right and he was great.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, but Pep said for you, how many times did Pep say last year, we don't need a David Silva replacement. We have Phil Foden already to go in. He hasn't played that position once yet. So what my point is to Pep is, don't sit kissing his rear end for 6 months, waxing lyrical on the lad, and then just bench him every 5 minutes.
I agree. Play him.
It's frustrating, and I know it's really, and maybe it's because it's one of our own that isn't playing. Sorry, KARL.
Mate. It's baffling.
Yeah. I just think as well, and it's been mentioned a lot, especially in big games, but I think today's shown as well, we're tactically naive. Like, I knew that game, Spurs were going to have everyone behind the ball, Kane was going to drop in, and Son was going to hit us on the break. It looked like City had not even thought about that. I just can't get it sometimes. The first goal, one, again, I think it shows another thing City are missing at the moment is a leader on the pitch, because I think one of the first things you get told in football is stand over the ball on a free kick. The free kick was taken probably 10 yards further forward than where it happened. One rubbish refereeing, like he always is. So when you know that referee never pulls stuff like that back, you've got to do that. No one's got the balls at City at the moment to do that, to pick the ball up and go and put it back from where it is. If that happened, that goal probably wouldn't have been scored. If we think about it, really, we would have had time to set up, and because we don't think quick enough. But this whole, there's been some comments on there about Sterling. Like, guys, please, he's another whipping. Please don't go after Sterling today. He came on the 72nd minute.
Exactly.
Like, if you think that's enough to change the game, and I've got to agree with Martin. For me, Rodri was our best player today. I'm not saying he was fantastic, but of a bad bunch, he was our best player today. And that tackle he did, which probably saved another goal in the area. It was a great tackle where he trapped back, which was really one of the centre half should have picked him up. Probably saved another goal. And I don't think he stopped the lad. But again, City fans are Rodri's playing, and for some reason, I think City fans are seeing him as the reason why Foden or Silva doesn't play, and then I think that's part of they're on him. But again, I know people are digging Mahrez out as well, but again, so frustrating as a player. The amount of times today he just pulled the ball out of the air, his first touch, is unbelievable. But then there's no end product, and not just Mahrez. Today, I think I counted on 4 or 5 occasions. KDB as well does it a lot, knocking the ball into the area as if we've got Zeko in there. Did you see their centre half today?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus again. It's that plan. If we want to play a plan B, that is the plan B. but we've got no one to play it with. Why knock a ball in the air to Jesus? In the area to go. We don't. I mean, as well, the other thing I was thinking about, if I was Mourinho, he's probably said to Spurs, if you need to give City a corner, give them a corner, because nothing will happen.
It's true.
Like,
true.
1 minute, Ross. I know KARL has to go in a minute.
I will say one thing just to wrap up. For me, there's still hope. We're still 8 games in. There's still 32 games or 31 games to play. It's a lot of games to play over Christmas. So, but he has to fix this. He has to cast his pride aside and play the back. So that's kind of my parting. I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful that we'll get it right.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, you take care. You go and keep the wife happy and look after yourself, mate.
Yeah. See you guys.
Right. And then there were 3. I am.
Who's gonna mock the Wi-Fi now? But we need to try carry on.
Blue out. Good God, this is the most depressing sight these days. Good night, mate. We just got beat 2-0. It's not going to be business and light at the moment, I'm afraid. That's the problem. Porter Jones, the problem is in the dressing room. There was something wrong. The guys are excellent with the national team, but become barely average when they return. I am way behind on comments. I do apologise. Let's have a look. Personally, I'd be looking to start playing 2 strikers to Zagob. Well, technically, we're playing 3. If you look at the front 3. Mike, the problem is, right, few people have said this. Tom, is there an issue in the dressing room, in your opinion? We don't know if there is, because we're not in the dressing room. But a lot of people on this stream are telling me, is there an issue in the dressing room?
No, there isn't. There isn't a problem in the changing rooms whatsoever. It's the lack of, understanding and getting to having a plan B. There's nothing wrong. There's no falling. There's no loss of the changing rooms, because if there was, I don't think he'd have signed 2 years, and I don't think we'd be looking at getting Messi and the like and all those sort of guys in if the changing room was so lost. You know what I mean? I think it's just. I don't know what it is. We'll never know. But I personally don't think there's anything wrong with the changing room. I think it's just a lack of charisma and, getting into the games and being vicious in the games. I don't think it's anything to do with the changing rooms. We lost games under Pellegrini, but that was never a dressing room, a dressing room problem. That was never brought up. Obviously, in the end, Mancini did get turfed out because of the dressing room, but that's different. We just lost to Wigan. We've just lost to Spurs. They're a good team. They're top of the league. It's not Spurs. It's not Spurs from 2 years ago, is it? Spurs are top.
70 says our Spurs title.
Yeah, they are. They're top of the league. They're one of the. I think they play really good football. They link up really well. They've beaten us. There's no leaders in the changing room. That's gone. But the change room hasn't been lost. That is for sure, because it's the same team, bar Company and David Silva, who have departed in the past year or so. So there's not really any arguments in that. I think it's just transition period, to be honest with you. I think it's a transition period. That's what me and my dad were discussing earlier. We think it's that.
All right then, Ross. Same question to you. And are we in a transition period?
On the dressing room dressing room question, I've been in a few times. They're bloody lovely. Don't know what any problem.
Exactly. The dressing room is all about. We don't know.
I think the dressing room issue. I actually think part of it actually is the modern game. I don't think some players, you have your little cliques now. Spanish stick together, French stick together. So I don't think it's that. I think the one thing that is missing, and I think Tom touched on it, is the leader. You need a leader. I don't think we've got one. So I know KDB is the captain. I'm not digging him out here just before all the comments come in. He's our best player, right? But he's not a captain. He's not a lead. He's not a company. He's not one of those players. And sometimes you don't have to be a shouter to be a leader and a captain. But I actually think right now we need one a little bit. Are we in transition? I think we've been in transition for a couple of years, but I don't think we're handling the transition very well.
That's a great point. I agree with that.
I don't think we're bringing. I mean, I'm banging the Phil Foden drum here, but for me, he would have been in the team from the back end of last year when we knew we weren't going to win the league and he'd be playing every week. We would have signed a centre forward. We would have had a bit more of a structure of a team we're going to play, as in formation wise, not necessarily the same players. I think he's tinkering. It's as if he's got to always do something, and I'm going to use the word stubborn.
Yeah.
Today was not the day to try and play how we played 2 years ago with the players that we've got now.
Okay, well, there's a question, and you just really good point. You just said then that the club or the players are struggling with this. Are us as fans struggling with sort of this transition period? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I think there's been a change in some of the fan base over the last sort of 6 months, maybe 12 months, where we get beat. And I'm not saying, listen, it's an emotional game. I fully understand that. But on the stream earlier, Pep was not criticising of Pep's whatever, individually. It was Pep is a shocking manager. And then giving me a list of about 5 managers that are better. And these are from genuine City fans. We are not talking City fans who are sort of pretending to be City. We're talking genuine City fans now. And I've heard it as well. I've been on Talk, you know what, and 606 and all. There are City fans now saying Pep is no good, needs to go. And to me, and maybe it's me because I was there 20 years ago and everything else, but I think fans are struggling to adjust because it's like we still talk about Zabba, we still talk about Aguero when he goes, we're still talking about David Silva. We knew these players were not going to go on forever. Like I said, we're not Dad's Army coming out at the front, and everything else. We've got a 45-year-old up front. I think what we've got to do personally, we have to respect the past, lord over him, but we can't sit there talking about, 2 years on, we've got Vincent Kompany, this great, but we can't be comparing every single player to Vincent Kompany, every single player to Fernandinho. The next striker who will come in will get compared to Aguero because we're not judging them fairly then. We're not judging them on their individual performances, abilities. We're judging them on somebody else's. It's like when Barry Conlon played for us and Buster Phillips, we're comparing him to Colin Bell. Ain't going to happen. We have to think, and maybe that's just my little rant, but it annoys me because we've become sentimental.
Yeah.
And there's no reason
I agree.
Football. I agree, mine. I think me and Tom both agree with you on that one. I think the only thing you got to say is, though, for us who've seen the bad, I suppose back in your mind, you got to this now high bar and you just don't ever want to go back there. And I think for me, the frustration is, I just want to know, right? So it looks like, and I'm sorry, I'm banging the drum, I'm going to mention him again, but is Foden good enough? So Pep obviously thinks, my perception now is Pep thinks he's not good enough because he doesn't play him. So if that's the case, let him go.
Sorry,
and that's the thing about transition. Yeah. I don't think Pep could win all the fans over. All them fans who are saying Pep's this, Pep that. If he played Foden, a lot of them would disappear because he's one of our own. We think he's going to do. And then if he doesn't cut it, he doesn't cut it. And that's a lot of the young players. I would prefer in transition to see us find out now for the rest of the season. And I'm one of them City fans who still love. If we won the Carabao Cup this year and nothing else, I'm happy because we never used to win anything, right? So I'm in that pot. But this whole thing about the subs, oh, there you go. Whole thing about the subs. He's whinging about subs. Doesn't play them anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Chris Baker says here, I think he's talking about the inverted wingers. My peer Albert Einstein said Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, and he's not your peer, and expecting a different result. So I think two things Chris is aiming at there. His best friend Riyad Mahrez, and this inverted wingers. Inverted wingers, then. Does it need, just like Carl said, does Pep have to bite the bullet and go, this is not working? We need to change something.
I personally don't think that's the problem. I don't think whether you're inverted or you're not inverted, when you get there, there's no centre forward to hit.
Good point.
So we swap them round. They're on the other wing. What changes? Apart from them not cutting inside, they're going to go to the byline and knock it across. Who's there?
Yeah. So, well, Kurt's put it on my point. Rodri suffers from the same thing Jesus does, replacing club legends and the best in class. That's my whole point anyway on that. But Tom, inverted wingers, does it need to stop? Because like Ross said, he doesn't see an issue with it.
There ain't an issue with it whatsoever. It's the fact that the style of football they try and play with inverted wingers doesn't suit the strikers that we have. End of conversation. That's all it is. On the Friday Night Social last night, I was saying the point of somebody tall, and apparently Chris and Andy said that that isn't our style of football to have somebody like Dzeko back. It bloody is. If we play like we did today, it is. It so is. There's a coating of Pep's football that supposedly, tiki-taka 1-2-3 pass it into the net. I haven't seen that since we were the Formidables. I haven't seen that football for at least 2 seasons. I've seen football where we try and cross it into the box and hope for the best, which is a little bit of what we saw when we had Edin and, the likes of Negredo as well. If you're going to play football like that, there's your plan B. Having someone to come off the bench, such as Dzeko, to stick a head on it and put it into the box. There's your plan B, if you wanted a plan B, because that's your inverted wingers. And if you play it like that, that's it. If you want to play that with the inverted wingers and then put it into the box, that's your problem, because we don't have strikers that can get an head on the ball, or aerial threat anyway.
I know someone who would do both, finishing with his feet and his head. It's called Erling Haaland.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's going to cost a lot of money if it's just not going to be, it's a lot of money and we should accept it. We should get him because he's the only person out there that'd do that, because Mbappe wouldn't do it because he's all about hard balls across the floor and running onto it. So he's not going to do that.
And as well, guys, throw into the mix. January, I think we all agree, is a hard time to sign a player like that. Is he going to come to City if we don't finish in the top 4?
No.
I'll come to that. I will come to that at some point. Mark Annis, we've just lost the greatest player I've ever seen. Merlin created so much, we are struggling to adapt. Simple. I get this, and it comes back to my point I just said, but we can't keep harping. We have to laud and remember the times we've had with these players. But they were never going to be here forever. They were never going to be here forever. And this is what brings me on to the Messi thing. As much as I would love Messi commercially as a club, I'm really unsure on the pitch. Because he's 34. Aguero will sign 2 more years, more than likely, because of it. So there's him 35. You're going to have a combined age of nearly 70 years old up top. That worries me. And I just don't want to get into this mindset of we can never give up. We keep these players going because we're holding on to them tightly and we don't want to let them go. And I just, I think it needs a little bit of a revamp. I think we did very well in the summer. I think we maybe needed 1 or 2 more, which I said I'd love to a left back, I'd love a striker. But we didn't get them. So we are where we are right now. Is this squad still good enough? Because that's another thing coming up in the comments. And there's also been aimed at all this evening that I've heard. This squad is not as good as what we all think it is. Because Liverpool, like I said, Liverpool have injuries. Leicester have got injuries. Everyone's got injuries, and they're coping better than us right now.
I think for me, Martin, to answer that, it appears that Pep's got a trust issue with some of the players. So Maybe he thinks the squad isn't good enough. He obviously thinks Mahrez should be playing every week.
Exactly.
We don't know what's going on in his head, but he's playing Mahrez every week, and that's the facts.
Yeah. Well, the Mahrez thing is starting to really grind at me. And I'm going to be honest with you now. The Mahrez lovers will come on and say, you're being racist and being everything else. We're not. We're seeing what we're seeing with our own eyes. And when there's a ball played in this evening like there was, and he literally falls on the floor jumping over the ball, and then he gives away the ball for the second goal. And Tommy,
Did you see the,
go on, Ross. I just think
Martin, the one where the lad ran at him, and before he even got there, he jumped and pirouetted out of the way. I think it was in the corner in the first half, and I was like, "What's he doing? The lad's not even anywhere." He was thinking he was going to get tackled 10 minutes before it happened. So, and we're in a scrap now because you know what? If I'm playing for another club or if I'm a manager for another club, I'm not scared to play City at the moment.
No,
that's a good point. That's a good. Is it time for Mahrez bye-bye? Do we just cut loss and go now? Other fans can say it, but is Pep going to do it?
No.
No. Will he? No. Why do you think Gundogan's still here? You know, it's another one of Pep's admirers. He likes to, you know, look after the guy. I think that's what it is. You know, if he plays again next week, against Burnley, it's another point to prove that he obviously still believes that he's the best man. I don't necessarily think they'll sell him. If they do sell him, it'll be this summer because that'll be where we'll get the best price tag for him. Other than that, I reckon it might be an Ozil. You know, fizzles out near the end. I can see that being a possibility if another manager comes in, or if he extends or whatever. You know, it could be another Ozil. You know, refuses to play because you can see him being that sort of player. Because look what he did at Leicester. You know, if he's not getting his own way, that might end like that. So who knows?
Well, Chris made a very good point here. He said, I'm trying to find it. So many comments on at the minute. I do apologise. Is this a carry on from last season? Because we were not great last season. We lost 9 games last season. We were not great.
I think the lockdown for COVID shadowed the fact that we weren't playing very well. You know, we got locked down after getting absolutely humiliated at Old Trafford. It would with a side that had only won one game in the past 2 months, and that's in all competitions. And then they come and play us off the park. That was a little bit off. And then we come back, we sort of play well, we get knocked out of the FA Cup. And then we get knocked out of the Champions League. So it could necessarily have carried on, but who knows? Because like they've all said, apparently they've not had enough time to recover. But the professional footballers, it's the job. They have all the equipment at home to keep fit. They have so many recoveries. It's no different to playing the World Cup. And they had 6 months off with rest and keeping fit and relaxing. So, it's not like they've had to play through all of that, then come back, play, and then play again. They're still having some sort of rest. They've got Saturday, Sunday, got Sunday, Monday. Are we playing Tuesday or Wednesday or slot?
Wednesday.
There you go. So there you go. They've got Saturday. They've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and that's a lot of time in football to recover. It's a lot of time. I imagine they'll have tomorrow off. They'll have travelled back up tonight. So it's not necessarily the fact that when they're at City, they don't have enough rest time. And I understand what Kevin was saying about having to be tested and not having to be with a team. But, it's not like it's a new team, is it? It's the same team. What's there to learn? There's not much more to learn other than play the football that we've been playing for the past 5 years, guys, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but...
You know what I mean?
Great point, Tom. And I'm going to say to Ross, Liverpool and Chelsea are doing the same thing right now. United are doing it. They're playing every 2 or 3 days. They're in the Champions League.
Exactly. Exactly. Liverpool have got about 4 players fit and they're still winning. You know,
And
that's
I'd
not an
argue,
excuse anymore.
I'd argue as well, Tottenham, who we've played today, probably got it toughest because they're in the Europa League.
Yeah.
And that's that. The thing that worries me, guys, is
They're
that
going back to
I
be
was
on.
looking I was looking before we jumped on, but I think there's only 5 teams, and they're probably the bottom 5 in the league, who've scored less goals than us. And I think they're on 4 and we're on 5 goals. Now, whatever you think about,
Brighton scored more than us. I saw a stat earlier.
Who have?
Aston Villa have scored
Brighton.
15 goals. We've scored 5. When was the last? Oh, it was funny because I was watching a Richard Dunn pick his best 11, and he was talking about when Pearce was a manager and we only scored, I think, 6 goals from New Year's Day to the end of the season. And I remember that, and I was thinking, well, where's our goal? Where are our goals coming from right now? To your point, Martin, we had 2 shots on target today, but they weren't shots that like really bothered him.
No, you're talking the Rodri header in the first half, and then you had the Diaz. And I'm struggling then to get another chance where
The handball, that was it. The handball, that was it.
Now,
the handball goal.
This is what I came up with. This is why I've been saying, and I've said this to Chris and I've said it to Tom privately, is our squad is as deep and as good as we all think it is? Have we got this lauded squad? Because what I don't want to do is we can't keep going out and slapping 200 million down every single 6 months to a year and going, well, I tell you what, because Pep will get it. Pep will eventually, he will. Even I'm starting to think, is Pep just the manager who needs a shitload of money now? Every single time something's going belly up. Because, and I'll tell you, and I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here, so excuse me. Bernardo Silva, 4 years. He's had 1 good season because he's not started this season great. John Stones, bought by Pep, 1 good season in 5. Coming into his 6th year. He's not playing a lot this season, fair enough. You know, Ake. Right now, I don't see Ake getting into this team, that back line. So he's going to be sat on the bench. Gabby J, who here's another thing with the Messi thing that no one's getting. Let's get Messi. Let's get Aguero signed up. Or do you think Gabby J is going to sit his ass on the bench for the next 2 years while them two are having a fun in games? He sat his rear end on the bench for 3 years. He's not going to play third fiddle. So is our squad basically as good as what we think it is, Ross? Yeah, because I'm not 100% sure anymore.
No, and sorry for someone who pulled me up on the 8 goals. I was talking about the last 6 games, but 5 in the last 6. But yeah, is our squad as good as it is? I think we've got a lot of players who, I think when you sign for City now with a big price tag, you just assume that you're a world-class player. And unfortunately, you're not. And I think this is where I was shouting out about we need to buy some unfashionable names, I'd call them, who people think, why the hell are we signing them? But they actually do a job. Because at the moment, we're in a transition, and I don't think we've got them leaders to pull us through a transition because, unfortunately, Martin, as you pointed out, our leaders have left the club. And, you know, David Silva, I was watching him the other night in Spain. God, if we could have done a deal with him where he could have lived in Spain all week, I would have done it until we had someone who could lead the club because he is absolutely ripping it up over there. He's running that team. And he'd still definitely be doing it in the Premier League, in my opinion. I mean, I mentioned players like Jamie Vardy and that, you know, in January, because at the moment, we might really need to fire in January to get it. And I know people, I've seen it in the comments, don't go overboard, Ross, you know, we'll definitely get in the top 4. Hey, I'm as positive as any City fan. I will not go on, dig them out. But in reality, there's a lot of clubs right now who are playing a lot better than us. And they're 7 points ahead. And I know people are saying, game in hand. You've got to win that game in hand. And we'll have more injuries and playing more games. And people will be using that excuse. You want the points on the board.
Yeah. Tom, is our squad as good as what we think it is?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's time to be honest, you know. The fact it's just I don't. It's not that it's not good because it's a team full of very good
Yeah.
players who have won titles. The majority, if not all of them, have won a title with this club. If
But
not
we're
two.
saying we claim it's the best in the league. It's the best and the deepest in the
I
league.
don't think it's the deepest or the best in the league. I think Liverpool's team, once fully fit, is better. They don't need depth because they've got class all over the pitch. End of conversation. We don't. That we don't. When they've got a fully fit squad, I can guarantee that bar Laporte playing that left side, they've got the best, positioned players in the league. They have, other than the striker and the left centre back. They have got the best team in the league. They've got the best goalkeeper or one of the best goalkeepers. They've got the best one of the best right backs. They've got the best left back in the league. They've got the best right centre back in the league. They've got one of the best CDMs now. It'd have been Fernandinho a year ago, that's for sure, but age has got to him. And like I was saying, age has got to our team as well, I think, sadly, too. And like me and Ross said a few weeks ago, these players that have proven that they can do it for, that are a little bit older is sometimes the best way to go when we're struggling. You need the players who can grind out results, a bit of passion, a bit of leadership, because that's all we don't have. We have good quality players. They've all proven that at some point whilst they've played for this club, but it's the continuous fact that we keep bringing in players for 60, 70, 60 million, 50 million and not being proven. Why not bring Danny Ings in? Why not bring Jamie Vardy in? Why not bring Sergio Ramos in for a bit? Why not? Why not?
Dad's armour.
Huh?
We're not Dad's armour.
Look at Chelsea. They brought in Thiago Silva on a free, yeah, and he is running the show. He's been injured once. He's been injured once,
and he's naming out for 33-year-olds.
No, Thiago Silva's 36, and he still plays first team football, yeah, ahead of many centre backs for Brazil. He still plays first team football at 36. They're the sort of people you want. Sergio Ramos, I'll give you an example there. He's still playing. Yeah. Although he missed 2 penalties last night, the other night, he'd still be welcome at our club because we can't take penalties either. So that's another reason why he could come. But what I'm trying... Yeah.
You've mentioned another team there as well, mate, who I think Chelsea have got a better squad than us.
Yeah, I completely do. Because look, they've got Werner, Havertz, you can name loads, Ziyech. They've got everybody in different positions that are strong and are capable of doing things. The keeper's a little bit iffy, but the rest of the team's class. But they sorted that problem, didn't they? They brought in this Mendy. They got the problem that was causing the problems and have tried to resolve it by bringing him in, which is what we need to do. The striker is the problem for us, and the leadership is the problem for us. So bringing a striker and leaders in is what you need. Is what you need. That is what you need.
Okay, I get what you're saying. And I was going to save this till next week on a vlog, but you mentioned it, so I'm going to bring it up. This is my issue with Massa. Great player commercials come in. Keep Aguero. He'll be 35, 2-year deal. 36 if you're going to take on massive for a year or two. Then you've got, you just said about Vardy and all these other players we can bring in. Whereas you've got Haaland, you've got Mbappe, all these top players that will go somewhere else because we've sat in our rear end for 12 to 18 months going, we've got these great players. Look at us. And then all the other top players, the young top players, have gone. Where's the long-term strategy? Where is the revamp of the squad? Bringing in a 35-year-old is not a revamp of a squad.
No, Martin, maybe I've not put my point across in the right way. What I'm saying is in January, we're not going to get any of them players, but we need someone. So in January, I would be signing Vardy. And even at the end of the season, if we need to flog him on again, we flog him on again because we're signing Haaland.
Vardy won't come for that.
I think any footballer will come for that. If he's got a chance to win, if City are there, I don't think he'll come.
Slap 150 million down in January for Haaland.
Because he won't come in January. He won't come in January.
Why?
Because he's too big. He's too big. January transfer windows are never for the big signings because there's not enough time to negotiate. That end of, that's why big deals are never done because it's a busy period for football. footballing wise for England, you know, and there's not enough time. You know, the biggest Laporte is the only person that we've signed, you know, in January over the past few years. And
I think the last one was Zeko before that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we need somebody like that. Sadly, Dzeko. I'd love to have him back. He'd have been perfect today.
Love Ross, basically. Are you saying we should lie to Vardy? It's a 2-year deal, but you're going in 6 months.
No, not lie. I'd be totally upfront with him. But at the moment, the reason why he won't want to come to us in January is that Leicester will have a better chance of winning the league than us.
Yeah.
That could be the reality because, again, they've had a lot of injuries. They're picking up wins. You know, 3 points ahead of us in the league. I think, guys, I'm not saying I've got the answer. I'm using Vardy as an example. But for me, in January, we've got to buy someone who is going to score goals from the game he starts. Now, we might have that lad at the club already. But again, we've given him a game in the Cup and 25 minutes against Leicester, and he's not seen a shirt again since.
Yeah.
So does that mean again now Pep's not seen enough of him and he's going to sit around? Because if I was him again, I thought he looked like an old-fashioned centre-forward, Delap. I was quite excited by it. He got straight into the keeper, straight on. I was like, oh, a bit of fight. Actually had a good chance, scored a goal in his first game. Good chance when he came on at the bar. Not got back in the team, and we're not scoring goals. It's like...
He does remind me, that Delap comment, Ross, is correct. Yeah, it reminded me of Alan Shearer a little bit, you know, how he used to play. And he did remind me a little bit of Vardy as well, with the pace and hunger to press the ball, you know. You know, that's what you got from him. But, you know, if you don't use him, you're not gonna be able to utilize him, are you? You know, if he's not in the squad, how are you gonna prove that he's gonna be the right man? You know, you've got this striker who was on the bench when Aguero and Jesus was out, and Sterling was chosen up front ahead of him, and that's not even his natural position. So it obviously isn't a choice of Pep's. You know, it's not his first choice. He'd much rather put a winger up front, which I don't get personally, because a striker's there to score goals.
Here's a question.
He don't trust him, obviously. He obviously doesn't trust him to play.
Could it be as simple as you drop Mahrez, you put Sterling to right, Torres on the left, you get Aguero back fit and he goes in, you get KDB back on form, and Bob's your uncle and away we go? Is it that simple, or is there because for me, I'm sat there and I'm going, is it just going to be one of them seasons we need to grit our teeth, get through a little bit? You know, we might go far in the cup, we might win a trophy or two. Or is it league or bust? This is my worry at the minute, because people are talking like it's league or bust time. We must win the league, or it is a failure.
Yeah.
Or is it we just make a couple of little glitches in the team and we bring it in and we go for it and we win a trophy or two, like an FA Cup or a League Cup. We try and win them. But we just go, you know what? We're not going to win. Or is it the league? Because from what I'm getting at the minute, people are annoyed because we're not looking like we're going to win the league.
Yeah. I think, Martin, for me, personally, I would take any trophy, even the Carabao Cup. That's probably because me past as a City fan. But I think the expectation of the club is that we need to be winning the league every year. And the money that they've given Pep, I think that's quite a fair expectation. And to your point, why he's bought defenders every year and all, like why he bought Aki this year if he knew he was going to buy Diaz is just, I don't get it. That 40 million could have gone elsewhere. For me, we play a lot of teams, and I can understand not doing this against the big six if you like, but at home, I would have a go at playing Aguero when he's fit, Jesus and Delap as a front three. I'd forget about defending because no one attacks us anyway. And I prefer to win 4-4, draw 4-4 or win 4-3 than watch us at the moment not even have a shot on goal. Let's play. Look at what Liverpool did. They came to us. There was all that debate around who they were going to play. He played all four of them.
Yeah.
Against City. Like, not against Burnley, or he went for it. We've got them for when Jesus is fit. I think Jesus and Aguero, and I might be wrong, have only started in the last couple of years one game together in the league up front at home at the start of last season, I think it was. He doesn't like to play two centre forwards, and I think this is where, for me, the arrogance comes in. He's got to change. Like, we're still playing that formation, to Tom's point, to play the tiki-taka, but we're not playing it.
Yeah.
So why don't he have it? Why don't he have a change? Why don't we go all out? And I think City fans like myself would appreciate that. Oh, we're going for it. We got beat today, but we went for it. Whereas today we got beat, but it sort of just feels like nothing happened.
I like I said in the thumbnail, and someone said it. I thought we were a little bit lack of passion today.
Yeah,
bit toothless. There was nothing. I mean, Spurs. You could see Spurs' game plan. They were going to put two banks up, as Jose does, park the bus. But what you saw there, you had two strikers or two forwards who were so in sync, they didn't even need to look at where the other one was. How many times did we see Kane playing reverse balls through for Son to run onto? And if it hadn't have been for one or two little bit misjudges or Edison getting away with a couple, which he did, we could have been 2 or 3, 4 down in that game. And my worry is, for all the play we had, we could come away going, we had 66 possession, we had 25 corners, and we had 23 shots. 4 of them were on target, and 2 of them were P-rollers into Lloris's hand. So we had 2 top chances in the whole game. Spurs had 2 chances, 2 goals. And that's, I can sit there and I can go on and say Spurs had a game plan. I don't know what our game plan was today. That's what worries me. There was no creation at all. There was nothing there. It looked like we'd just gone out. And I thought, I won't tell a lie, for 10 minutes, first 10 minutes, I thought, you know what, we're up for this. Even at 1-0 down, I thought, we're up for this. And then we just stopped. And I don't understand our game plan today. Whereas Spurs, I can come away and go, that was their game plan and it worked to perfection.
But Martin, you turned on that game today and you knew how Spurs were going to play. Is that a fair comment? Before the game,
everyone knows how Jose is going to play. Yeah.
And there you go. Everyone knows. Why didn't City? What we've had, I think I saw during the game.
Knows how Jose plays.
In the last 2 games against Spurs, apparently we've had 41 shots and not scored a goal. Now, to your point, then 41 shots could be anywhere. Yeah. But I go away from that game tonight and I just think the word I've got is vanilla. Yeah. Vanilla's just like what actually. Let's now forget all the negatives. Let's talk about all the positives in that game and what excited us from a City point of view.
I'm struggling today.
And that's what, I don't mind getting beat. But we didn't even, to your point, I think 8 minutes, we played well, we scored the goal, and it was like the handball got given, which was not even touched on yet. And then we didn't do anything again.
Well, User says when Aguero plays, we're a much better team. But the problem is, User, Aguero's not playing. We're 8 games in, and he's played 1 and a bit games. Not scored a goal, been injured for most of it. That's my worry with Aguero. I want Aguero to stay, but I don't want to get to a point where Aguero's our top striker and we're relying back on him. He's now showing we can't do that anymore. And this is my long-term strategy thing. This is where my long-term game comes in. When we signed Diaz and we signed that, I thought, right, bit of long-termism there. We've got Foden, we've got Diaz, we've got Ake. I can see long-term in that. Because Ake's young. Torres, 21, young, hungry, can see a future. As long as he doesn't do what Sané does, and in 2 years, say he's homesick and wants to go bye-bye. I'm hoping, but this is my issue now. And this is where I don't want to rely on a 33-year-old who has clearly got injury issues. And I mean, Chris made a good point to me last night. When was the last time Aguero was fit for a full season? Greatest ever striker in the Premier League for me, but when was the last time he had a full fit season? When was the last time you could say you're nearly in 8-9 games in and he hadn't scored a goal yet?
I reckon every year apart from 2011-12, he's had some sort of injury. But as the seasons go on, each one of them's getting worse and keeping him out. But I also think we're rushing him back as well. Now, if he would have got injured in the early days of his City career, we had Tevez, we had Zeko, we had Balotelli. It wasn't that rush. Now, yes, we've got Jesus, but he's not an out. I know he's got a good goal scoring record, but he's not what I'd call a number 9, right? And so you've got him, you've got to play him anyway. Who have we got? So we've got Delap. He's a kid. Who have we got after that? They're all kids. And he's not got a good record of playing kids. We manufacture kids to sell. That is my perception at City right now.
No, that's our way to get round FFP. Oh, no, I won't say get round it because that looks like we're being we're being shady. That's our business model. We bring in young kids, nurture them for a year or two, get them valued up, and then we sell them on. That's our business model.
Some of them we miss out on because we don't give them games. And I'm really worried that we've got 2 lads there who I think could be quite decent, and they're going to be the next 2 who we're watching play for someone else and say, God, he was at City.
Who then?
I think Foden and Delap.
Do you agree with
Sancho? Would Sancho get in our team right now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but remember, we offered Sancho a deal. He wouldn't sign it.
Yeah, but now look at that, Martin. Was that the right decision for his football career? Not to sign that deal? Because he might still be on the bench with Phil now.
Well, Chris just said that last night, Tom, is that Pep doesn't play youngsters. Doesn't do it.
No, it's true, and it's a shame. It is a shame because there's so much potential there. There's so much potential.
I'm going to bring this comment in because this comes back to what, and I want to ask you two on this. And I'm not pulling Ryan out the thing here. I really am not. I need to bring it in when I can find it. Sorry, I'm way behind on comments. I do apologise. There's 160 of you in a minute ago. Basically, Ryan Corrie asked to win the here it is. Well, where is it? I will bring it in. A season that we just win the League Cup is a failure.
No,
not for me.
I don't think
I'm not taking Ryan out, but I said this about 3 weeks ago. I said, is this now a generational thing?
No, it's not because I get included.
No, I know you're not. I know, but apart from Tom, there is a lot of youngsters who are. This is what I said earlier. Is it league or bust? Because this is how some fans are now. We've spent all this money. They have got a point. They've got a point on it to play devil's advocate. You can't spend all the money we have and go, well, we're happy with the League Cup. Us as fans might be. Because like me and Ross were there 20, 30 years ago when we were crap. And a League Cup getting bloody hell. When we got to Wembley in 99, we had a pitch invasion because we hadn't been there in 25 years. God knows how long. But is that the aspirations of the club now? Are we saying a League Cup, spending 100 million every summer? Oh, yeah, League Cup's all right.
Two things. The answer's twofold in it, Martin. For me and you and Tom, as a fan, we're all right with that because you're winning a cup, you've won something again. I remember that Tottenham game at Main Road when we were only in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I've never seen this before. So I'm clinging on to that. That can be right or wrong, but that's just me as a Blue. It's still an important trophy for me. But the expectation of the club and a lot of fans with the money we spend, and I think rightly so as well. So I'm not going back on my own opinion, but rightly so. The money we do spend should mean we pretty much should be winning every week, whether you like it or not. But that's not football, and that's not the way it works. However, the teams in the past in Premier League history who've dominated for years or gone in and out, they've transitioned well. And that's what we're not doing well, to the point earlier.
Well, he's right now. You need to get either both domestic cups, or a league or a Champions League, or a season's a failure.
It's not.
No, we're never going to do. And you know what?
I'm sounding a bit frustrating there.
If you're playing Germany, you're playing Spain, you've got a chance to do that every year.
Yeah.
There's not often. It doesn't often happen that clubs in England win everything. In fact, it very rarely happens. They're normally shared, and that's the benefit of English football. You always have a cup upset. You always have teams challenging for the league normally. Or, it's between a few clubs. How many trebles has there been? How many quadruples has there been? How many doubles has there been? Like there's not that many through history.
Nope.
No.
So City fans who are coming into a season expecting we're getting 2 free trophies every year, guys, take the one.
I'm with you. I've always said I'm not in it for trophies. Never have been. I'm one of these City fans who go and watch them on a Sunday league, crappy field against, Chadderton FC or whatever. I'm not that bothered. Like Chris said, this is exactly my point. People are annoyed because we're playing at a level that does not warrant the money we've spent, and it's been going on for more than a year. If anything, we're getting worse.
That's probably where this trophy thing is coming from, because of the money we've spent and the frustration. But I think it's a full house here. We'd take any trophy at this stage. I always go back to the first FA Cup we won. Under this era against Stoke, and that was one of the happiest days of my life. As a younger kid, anyway, seeing one of the first trophies ever. Won FA Cup. That was the most to me. That was the as a kid growing up watching City and seeing them when they weren't as good as well. That was the most important trophy we've ever won in my time. In my time, definitely. Obviously, I know you guys will probably say it's the 99 one with Paul Dickoff to get us, where we are now, or other people that are a bit older than us might say when we were successful back in the 60s and 70s. But that one for me, one cup, FA Cup, that's what meant so much to me, because it's one trophy, and just to win a trophy was nice. So I have that feeling every time we win a trophy. It's just no matter what we win, it's just better than the good old days. So that's how I see it.
And this is my point. Flog Mahrez, said David. And I'm not pulling people out. It's nice to get their opinions, but flog Mahrez, flog Arno, flog Laporte, flog Mendes. And can the last person out please turn off the lights? It's not FIFA, guys. It's not FIFA. We're not in a supermarket. Throw a couple off the shelf and a few in a basket. It's not. We're not playing Champ Manager. Come on, it's not easy.
I'd never thought I'd see a City fan right now saying we should sell Laporte.
I never heard that one before. Just because he
had a bad game
came out of position.
Yeah.
He came out of position once.
Holding De Bruyne, Douglas. Where's this Douglas Luiz come from? And everyone's going to tell
he came from Brazil.
Well, yeah, he's pulling trees up for Aston Villa. Okay, then. My argument back to you is Mahrez was pulling trees up for Leicester. He won Premier League Player of the Year. Turned up at City and couldn't do it. I watched Douglas Luiz personally at Aston Villa when we did him 6-1. And he was like a duck out of water. Not a cat in hell's chance anywhere near anybody. Fernandinho, so Douglas Luiz, no, not for me. I'm not with it. And this Bonnie then Hammer, Pepper's done nothing that Pellegrini could have done. Where did Pellegrini finish the year after he won the league?
4th.
Anyone remind me? 4th? Did he do back-to-back?
I don't know. I can't remember.
He scraped in away at Swansea.
Yeah, that was it.
So he has done something, Pellegrini.
Is it? I think everybody obviously likes Pellegrini a bit more because he gave his suit jacket away at the end of the season, and Pep didn't give his coat away.
My mate.
Really? Was it your mate?
Yeah.
That was class. That.
Andy was texting saying, "I've got your jacket."
Wednesday at 6 p.m. I won't be doing a watch along for that one. It's too early. I won't be. Not that I'm. Well, I could do it because I'm not actually out at the moment. I'm isolating, so I could do it. I'll see what I can do. I can't use this. I was going to say work. I just realised I'm not in work. Well, I am.
You can do it then.
I'm working from home. I'm not on a jolly up,
Yeah, I know.
Cover for centre backs and left back injuries, suspensions. Just Colin Martin is the watch along Wednesday. I'll see. I'll let you know.
Oh, he's changing it now. He might be doing one. The fans are wanting it.
The league is done. Right, all right. Is the league done? We're 8 games in. There's 30 left to go. Is it done? Win our game in hand and we're 5 behind. And I know I keep saying this game in hand, but I'm clinging on to it like I can. With day live going, it's a game in hand at home to Villa. Come on. And if you look at our fixtures coming up, they're quite favourable. And I'm not trying to sound elitist here, but you look at it, we're okay till about the middle of December when we've got them over at the Swamp.
Usually.
Yeah, usually Martin, okay. Martin, were Leeds and West Ham favourable fixtures in our opinion?
Yeah, there were.
West Ham was, Leeds wasn't. I said Leeds was going to be hard. No, I did. Go back to the preview. I was even on all Leeds. All
right, so that means you thought you would have got maybe 4 points then? A win at West Ham, a draw at Leeds? And we got 1. Everyone thinks we're going to smash Burnley. Everyone thinks we're going to smash Burnley at the weekend.
Yeah, I don't think we will. You know, it's typical City that they haven't won a game all season. I got my mate who's a Burnley fan texted me saying, "Oh, we have a chance against you on Saturday." And usually in seasons gone by, I'll say, no chance, and I'm having a bit of banter with him. But genuinely this time, I've said, you know what? It's going to be an open game. You know, they could have us because they play a bit physical like Leeds do. You know,
Mr. All-Up's got a good point here. Riola called Pepper coward than a dog. Good luck negotiating with him for Ireland.
That's why we want Danny Ings.
Apparently, we don't go into negotiations for Riola's players. Yeah, that is.
I didn't realise that.
Rumor has it. That's why we didn't sign him when he moved.
And another sigh.
Chris Baker says, "Flog me." Why flog me? Hang on. I'm not out on the pitch, sunshine. Ryan Corey Douglas, who's just crap until after lockdown for Villa.
He's
guys will agree with me one day. We all have our opinions, yeah. Why do we need a striker? Look at that finish from Laporte. Whack him up. Don't flog Martin. He would like it too much. Hey, don't be cheeky.
Where's this abuse come from?
Pardon?
Where's the abuse come from? Just because we say it was from that guy's comment, you hadn't even mentioned anything about people going.
No, I haven't. But never mind. What's the solution? Alan with the super chat. Thank you. There you are then. Straight to you, Tom. Then I'll give you a couple of minutes, Ross. Think of that one.
Oh, thanks a lot. A couple of minutes. A couple of minutes. What are you trying to say?
Straight on the spot. Come on, Flat Cat. Come on, Peaky Blinders.
What am I saying? I don't know.
What was that?
That was a Cockney accent, mate. Listen, that was a Yorkshire Cockney accent. That's pretty good, to be fair. That is pretty good. Anyway, I'm trying to just think of more time, to be honest, to try to think of my answer. What is the solution? The solution is to bring somebody in that can captain the club, like some sort of like Vinny did, so a little bit like Vinny did. Bring in a striker. I don't know. I don't know because we're only 8 games in.
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm saying. Are we hit the panic button too much?
No, because we're recapping off other people, off our seasons recently in the past few years, and it's just a blip. I'm hoping it's a blip, but it's been a blip that's lasted a full season and it's continued. It's a continuous blip that we wanted to sort out in the summer by bringing the defence in, which we have done, but we didn't sort out the attack, which is what was also needed. Like Ross said, did we really need to bring Ake in if we knew we were getting Diaz? Why didn't we spend that money on a striker or somebody that could play in that role for us, whilst we actually found the proper, the proper man to replace Serge? So there's a long road ahead. I think this season it'll be a decider of what happens in the summer. I think if we finish top four, the transfer window will be a bit different. If we finish 5th or 6th, that's what I personally think. So I don't think there's a solution that can be answered within the next few months. I think it's a solution for the long term, personally.
To me, it's too big a question. But Ross, I'm going to come to you in a minute on it.
Well, that's fine then, isn't it? Let's put Tom on the spot. Honestly.
Can you hear someone whinging in the corner?
Yeah, I can hear a little bit of whinge. And just, Tom, just by the way, Peaky Blinders are from Birmingham, mate. So.
Yeah, I know they are. I don't know why I said a Cockney accent.
Mr. Mahrez is not even playing his same as did at Leicester. Can't compare him to Luiz. No, what I'm saying is Mahrez was playing great at Leicester and we bought him off the back of it. And then, yeah, I know we're playing him in the wrong position. But my issue with Douglas Luiz is up until that, and Ryan's got a point, up until lockdown, he was naff. And so what we're saying is you want to buy him back for a few games playing really well. Well, is that a chance? You know, and from what I saw at Villa Park when City played, he was not very good. And that's why we rolled over him 6-1. And so I can only say my opinion. And some people love Douglas Luiz, some want to take a chance on him. But we've also been linked with this, is it Daka, Dianca, whatever his name is. Beautiful. How many CDMs do you want to bring in? We're bringing in 3, 4, 5. Do you want 5 positions? 5 per position, I mean? Come on. Again, we're going back to FIFA again, where we're just buying anyone and everyone here, and we're just dropping and, get rid of people. You can't just sell players like that. It took us 2 years to get Otamendi out the door. These players are on top wages. They ain't leaving.
And that's another person, Otto has passion, if people forget that, a lot of the players that we do sell are players that have had passion for the club.
Well, then, Ross, I'll bring you a bit of positivity from Alec Johnson.
All right, mate. So I'm going to try and really make this very simple. So I'm just going to talk about right now because we can't buy anyone. No. We're in the season. So, few points. Drop Mahrez. Rest KDB.
Yeah.
Play Foden.
Yeah.
Play Foden and play 2 up front.
I'm probably with you on all that. Okay, then. How many of them will Pep actually do?
None.
There you go. That's the answer. There you go.
Get Ross in. There you are.
Mate, I'll tell you what, the fans would, I would have people kicking everyone, shouting and screaming, and we would be attacking.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, though. Someone asked me last night, Pep's going to get sacked. And I was like, well, nothing will change. We talked about the other week. We've just got to he's got to change. He's got to change himself. He's being stubborn now. He's just got to change the way we play. We've got the players we've got. We might not sign anyone in January for the reasons we all know. He's got to change. He's got to give some other players a chance. He's got to, for me, at the moment, based on his performances when he has played and for internationally, Foden would be the first name on the team sheet right now. He's our only player in form, I'd say. And he's not playing.
Well, Scotty Moore says any other manager would be sacked by now. Pep needs to sort it out. I think he means quickly. But he's just signed a 2-year deal. Never mind sacking him. Pep ain't going anywhere. People need to get their heads around this. Not going anywhere. Really not. Guys, it's not league title or bust. You'll get top 4 and build on from there. I'm with this. I'm sorry. It isn't league title or bust. But that's how I'm feeling some people are saying. We've only got 2 strikers. What's the point in having a load of money if we don't spend it? We haven't got... People think we've just got this bottomless pit of money where we go. We are now self-sufficient. We've not relied on the Sheikh for 3 or 4 years now? The money we spend is self-generated. And we're in COVID times. We're losing money at the minute, not gaining it. There's no fans in the stadium. Got to remember that. And like Pep said, we didn't furlough anyone. So we did the right thing for people, but it may cost us on the pitch a little bit.
Yeah, that is true. We didn't furlough anybody, did we? But
No.
that could have cost us.
So,
but no one did. No one did really in the end, did they? In the Premier League.
No, they changed it back round, didn't they? And Liverpool were going to, and then they didn't. So
again, everyone's in the same boat. And I'm sorry. Back to our ticket money is not really life changing for City at the moment. It's more the merchandise, and that's mine. Probably why we will sign Messi, because regardless of what he does on the pitch, we'll make the money back in probably 2 months on shirt sales.
Yeah.
Well,
Doopy says Pep needs to go next summer.
No, he doesn't.
He's not going.
He's not going anywhere.
No. I think people bring Vincent as a system.
He won't go because he's doing all right with Anderlecht. So why would he want to leave something that's good for him at the moment? Anyway.
Mr. Rolo, there is no immediate solution. Must find world-class replacement for Silva and Aguero in the summer and hope Torres grows into a suitable signing replacement. Are we putting too much pressure on a young lad? Because I've certainly talked about it.
Yeah, and Martin, you mentioned earlier on what I can already see happening. So he played awesome for Spain the other night, and I think he'll probably get a little bit frustrated in our team at the moment. And I can see even next summer someone in Spain coming back in for him.
I'm bored of that. I'm bored of getting these young top players, and then 2 years in, they're homesick and want to go bye-bye again.
But again, he's a winger, right? So I saw on the pressure thing, I think he'd scored, it was something like 9 goals in 67 games because he's a winger, right? So his job's not to score goals. In our team, as a winger, Pep expects you to score goals, and he's even been playing him as a centre forward. If I'm a winger and I've got no one to hit, I'm frustrated. And he's got no one to hit. So he's got to run down the wing and score the goal for him to come off that pitch having a good performance in what the manager wants.
Well, what have I said for not recruiting players on? What have I said?
Not bringing Jamie Vardy.
So why am I? What, because I'm not keen on Douglas Luiz?
Probably.
No, he's not the answer. He's not.
So because I'm not keen on Douglas Luiz, I'm no good at recruiting players. It's all opinions. I think some people have been listening to other people who ram it down your throat and make it gospel. I honestly think our assistant Lilo is a problem. I said this to Andy earlier. We ended up in a bit of tete-a-tete about that on the watch along. I said is Lilo an issue because we've changed our tactics since. But I mean, I don't know. Go on, Tom. What is Lilo's job at the minute? What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know. It's odd. Nobody really knows what he does. You know, I just see him sit there. To be honest with you, I've never seen him speak to Pep. I don't know. He obviously does something behind the scenes because we don't score as many goals now than we used to do. So he obviously has been brought in defensive as a defensive coach, I think, assistant. Because he goes, I can't see him doing anything else. You know, it's not really been, you know, strong since Arteta left. Really, we haven't really been able to find the right man. You know, Lilo, I don't know. With Pep signing this extra contract, does that mean Lilo stays longer? I don't know how that works because he just signed a contract for a year and then he'll probably leave in the summer. So why is he coming? What was the need? Are we waiting for somebody else to come in? You know, who knows what he does? But he obviously does something because, you know, he's always there and he's speaking to Pep, I think. Probably off camera because we don't see everything. So,
Yep.
You know, you just have to look at that documentary they did at our place. You know, there's a lot of people that speak a lot behind the scenes. So I imagine he is quite a role model and a leader in sort of helping Pep. But, you know, something doesn't click between their philosophies at the moment, I don't think.
No. Well, Kex O'Neill, who do you want, Martin? All right, I'll give you my guys and what I bring in. Tagliafico at left back. I know that won't go down well with Tom. But I think Cancelo can do a good job at right back.
Yeah, I agree with that. See, the people that think that I think Cancelo should stay at left back and just stick at that are completely wrong. I just like the guy. I just like the player. I don't think he should stay at left back. It'd be a great support to have Walker and Cancelo on that side.
And there's nothing wrong with Tom liking another man. That's fine. Please don't think that's anything bad, guys.
I wish. Are we after 10 o'clock? We are. I could really tell you to stick it somewhere, but I'm not gonna.
Well, after what I just said, hey, calm down, sunshine. So that is, we're way after the watershed now. So Tagliafico, I agree with Chris. I think Declan Rice would be a great CDM. I bring in Haaland. If they can do the Messi deal, I do it for commercial purposes only. Only. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you get, cut maybe 6 months out of him, top class, and I'd love to see him. But I'm thinking long term. And I'd sell Mahrez. And I'd possibly maybe bring in another winger. That I'm not sure of. But my top three would be Tagliafico, Declan Rice, and Erling Haaland, and then Messi on a freebie.
Yeah, not bad. I'm a little bit different, so I'd forget midfielders and defenders, and I would bring in two players. Or Messi. I think Messi's going to come anyway, so I'm going to just park that.
Yeah.
But if you wanted me to say and I'd break the bank. And I'd buy Haaland and Harry Kane.
Harry Kane was the other one but I've just got,
I'd love that.
Forget midfield, forget defenders. We've got enough of them. I'd sell Mahrez. I would find out whether the young players who are on the fringe are good enough. And if not, I'd let them go and have a career for their sake. And you know what? I'm including Foden in that because I'm over it. Play him or let the lad go as a City fan.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Thank you for your super chat. City's worst start since 08-09 under Mark Hughes. Why are we saying Pep's going to get sacked in a 3-3 draw against?
It's not as bad as bloody Stuart Pearce's season. So everybody just be happy that we've actually scored 8 goals or whatever it is so far. Because we only scored 10 at home.
Got him all. Cancelo is god awful.
I'm not even going to get into the debate about that because he's not. That he's just not.
And this pulls my whole point apart from earlier. Brendan Ayre, Laporte and Diaz are not as good as company. Rodri is as good as Fernandinho. Would that have anything? Because we can't stop being sentimental.
Who is as good as them?
Unless you're going to.
That is a very good point.
Listen, guys, you're not going to get a David Silva for 25 million anymore. You're not going to get a Serge. You're not going to get a Sergio Aguero for 38 million anymore. You are not going to get a Vincent Kompany for 6 million anymore. Times have changed. When you want the big players, you've got to play the big money. And to replace all them, you're probably looking at 500 million.
Yeah.
We've just got off UEFA. You want us to go back there and get done the big time? Come on.
I actually only think when Aguero's fitting on his game, that there's only, and take the Messi Ronaldo debate out, there's 2 players right now who I'd be thinking, who do I want? Aguero's super fit at his peak, and it's Haaland and Kane. So that shows you there's only, in my opinion, there's only 2 other centre forwards anyway. Midfielders, there is no one now playing in world football. I'm going to make a big statement here that is as good as Yaya Toure was in that massive season he had.
No.
When he just dominated. There's no one. There is no one knocking about now who is as good as David Silva at his prime. Whether you're buying him for 500 million or 50 million, there's no one. So guys who are watching, of course they're not as good. Of course Rodri's not Fernandinho at his prime because no one is going to be. They're once in a lifetime players.
Yeah, Rodri was worst signing we made. I'm baffled. This is what I mean. People are just we're not going to be allowed to move on.
The worst signing we made, and the lad plays centre mid for Spain. And I tell you what, Spain are way better than England.
Hey, and how many did he score the other night?
God, yeah, it's just It's
yeah.
just unbelievable.
You need to remember where we're in. We're in a different time than 5 years ago. Never mind, God knows, nearly 10 years ago, 8 years ago with Mancini. We're in a different time with different people at the helm. Cheeky and Soriano were not making the purchases under Mancini. That was falling to what's the other guy's name? Can't remember his name.
Oh,
Brian Marwood and Gary Cook were doing all them. Listen, and we tried them. We went for Kaka. We tried all these sort of big names then, and it didn't come off. So we've done a Robinho. We've done a George Weah. We've done all this before, guys. So we're just thinking pragmatically here. You know, are you all going to stop supporting City if we don't get these top players? Come on.
I only do. The fans who are saying that, I only do stop supporting City.
Yeah, we might be able to go home and away every single week then without trying to look on different websites other than Cities.
But no one on here is one of them fans. Martin could do a better job of shot. I couldn't, mate. Not with my knackered back. Not a cat and house chance. Not a cat and house chance. Haaland or Felix? One word. Tom. Haaland or Felix? Don't want to know.
Haaland.
Ross.
Haaland.
Good man. Look forward, not back.
Man.
Yeah. Silver doing well now. We miss him. Yeah, but you got to remember, Premier League and the league are a bit different, a little bit different. And the thing is, he's home. He's home and he's happy. And listen, we're looking back again. This is coming back from what I'm saying. Is we're always going backwards. Let's get forward, like Kex. Let's get forward. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about long term. Let's stop looking at the past. We can't keep, you know. I feel like we need to go on a tour of the museum, you know, in the stadium and do a stadium tour when we can. And go, look at these great players and everything else. And yeah, we'll have a chat then. That is something we'd like to do on the channel. Actually.
We didn't even have a stadium tour, did we? Because there was nothing to talk about.
No, that's something we are going to do on the channel. I'm going to go on the stadium tour and I'm going to film it, put it on the channel. Hey.
Copyright. They won't be having that. See, won't let you do that, will they?
Well, I was going to say they won't know, but they might now. Hey, other people got away with it.
You have to get some glasses with a camera on, won't you?
No, yeah. I will speak to them.
Oh, like James Bond. James Bond.
Yeah. No, I'm going to be honest, and I'll have a chat with him.
He'll wear like a full suit with just his phone sticking out, and you can just see camera from his chest.
You can't keep looking at past players like Company and comparing. Got to look forward. Play with what we have. Try and back them a long way to go, guys. If we beat Leicester away, Spurs at home, we'll be okay. Great point, Andy. Listen, we're 8 games in. I'm going to end it on that. We're 8 games in. I honestly, is today bad? Of course it is. Is there problems? Of course there is. We're not one of us on here has ever denied there is no issues. Of course there is. But right now, we can't do anything. We will not buy it in January. As much as I would love us to, we won't because we don't generally do it. So what we've got now, we go with to the end of the season. Pep is not going anywhere. Please, guys, get that in your heads. He just signed a 2-year deal. He is not going anywhere. His best mates are his bosses. They ain't sacking him. You're going to have to just accept it. Is it? And all the other thing I will say, you're a City fan. You should be used to these up and downs.
Exactly.
When you became a City fan, your parents, your aunties, your uncles, cousins should have told you. This is a roller coaster. Get on board, enjoy it, smile and wave. You're going to have bad days, you're going to have good days. But remember the song, City Till I Die. And we never win at home and we never win away. Because some of you, sadly, have forgotten.
We lost last week and we lost today. But it's not wrong.
Guys, there's a few comments saying we sound like rags and we're talking about the past. I don't know if that's aimed at me, Martin and Tom, but we're all actually on the same page saying we can't compare players to the past.
I think you signed about some of the people on here.
So
that's my
clear, guys.
Let's enjoy it, you City fans. If we get relegated, so be it. But we're not going to get relegated. We'll finish in the top 4. We'll probably finish in the top 2 or 3. We're 8 games in. We've come back from a lot worse than this. Was it a bad game? Yeah. Do we need, just enjoy it. I'm sorry, that's me. If you don't like it, don't watch, guys. Sorry, that's me. I'm a City fan. Cut me open, I bleed blue. I travel the length and breadth of this country, like Tom, to watch them. I get home at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's silly o'clock. I go to Crystal Palace and take my missus and don't tell her it's a 7-hour journey. Do you know what I mean? 7 hours there and 7 hours back. I don't mind it. You get on with it, but just enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say. Tom, do you want to say anything before we finish?
No, just had to keep positive. We've all supported City long enough to know that it's never simple. So that's what makes us love City even more. And, I'll still be sticking up for him tomorrow on the football group chat, even though we've lost. There's always, there's always that pride there. So and just everybody keep happy, stay safe, and just remember, we're City fans for a reason.
I've got to put this up. It's the roll up. Sorry. Benassa, Grealish, Tagliafico, Martinez. 100, 150. So you're about nearly 300 million there. Yeah, you'll have UEFA on you within 2 seconds, mate. It's not FIFA. Keep telling everyone this. It's not FIFA. Go on, Ross. Your parting words.
No, I think we're all pretty aligned, and most of the fans on the chat as well are. It's just one of them things. It's a blip. It's frustrating because we still have got good players, but as I said on last week's Friday night, every player in our current squad is probably in. As a City fan who's watched them since '86, probably some of the best players I've seen in my lifetime. And I think for me, I've always got to bring myself back to that. Even if they're not as good as other players, we've had a lot worse than we've got in the team right now. And a lot of our players would still get into teams in other teams in the Premier League. Maybe not your Liverpool and Chelsea at the moment, but even we've got KDB, we've got Sterling, we've still got Aguero, we've got my mate Phil. They'd walk into teams. Let's bring Louise back. Not the answer, guys. He's not better than anyone we've got. I think your players like Haaland, Kane, they are better than what we've got. But the other ones we've mentioned quite a lot. I mean, the Grealish one's an interesting point, guys. Just to end on that, maybe that's something we can chat about again. But I think he could be a great player in the City side. I'll end on that.
City won't pay the money for him. And I don't think he's worth 100 million. But we'll talk about that. We'll go into that debate.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Because we're really on 2 hours now. My missus will be like, you're only going on for an hour. And I was on for 2.5 hours earlier as well.
Yeah, same. And I've been up since 4:15 for the match. So,
Ross was the one who said to me, we're only doing an hour, aren't we? And he hasn't stood up yet to get his interview. Andrew, thank you. Forms temporary, classes permanent, keep the faith. Listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't have expectations, be angry, be upset, but let's not come out with Pep crap, worst manager in the world, the guy at Brighton and Burnley, Sean Dyche is better than him and everything else. Come on, guys. Thank you guys for a great show. Tom, Martin, cheers, guys. Great show. Thank you, John. Guys, hit a like on the, that'd be great. If you like it, please hit the like button. We have nearly 200 people on tonight. Is there a watch along Wednesday? I will let you know Monday if there is. Ross, we can't afford Haaland or Kane. Alec Johnson, Man City owners demand success. Let's face it, if we'd had a great ride so far, I won't moan except for Mahrez. Yeah. Send Mahrez to Villa. We'll take. Tom, I want a chat, lad. Ooh, you're in trouble.
I'm not. I just want to. I'm going for a bath because I need to recover for tomorrow's run. So his chat can wait for a bit.
He's going in the bath and he's going to have a little dream about gel.
There's a great comment there about Alan. Got to get that one on from Chris Baker.
Ross is so much likeable than Alan is. Don't go.
And on that note,
let's batter Burnley. Let's batter Olympiacos and then do Burnley first. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's not the result we wanted. We got beat 2-0. Well, listen, yeah, Ryan messaged me when you're out the bath, lad.
bloody hell, he
Have
was
the
so
towel
well,
wrapped
didn't
round- have that towel wrapped round you, Tom,
he? Piss off.
with his Radox. Have a great weekend. It's not the result we wanted, but listen, as I said earlier, you're a City fan. You should be used to a little bit of disappointment by now. I know we all are, but listen, it wasn't great last year. We'll get on with it and we'll pick ourselves up and we'll go again. 8 games in. And it's a weird season. Not what we wanted. It wasn't the performance, but so be it. We live to fight another day. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow evening with a FIFA stream, career mode. I will be back around about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, depending on which one my missus allows me to get on. But yes, I'll be back tomorrow. Big thank you to Tom.
Thank you, mate. It's been good again,
Big
even though we
thank
lost.
you to Ross for getting up early over in the land of Oz.
Cheers, guys. Good to see you all. Thanks for all the comments. Blues.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Smile. Make sure you hit a like on the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. But as always, up the Blues. Take care and have a great rest of your weekend, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night for FIFA.